So inside challenge mode, it's a new way of playing Jurassic World Evolution. It's just a great new way of playing the island. So you'll get given Isla Nublar, which is the sandbox level, but you can now play it in challenge mode. You start out with nothing, and then as you progress through it, you're trying to build a 5-star rating, and as you're doing that, you're trying to racing against the clock to try and do a 5-star rating as fast as possible. We have different difficulty settings. We have some tweaks to some of the game mechanics. So you want to
talk us through these because we'll jump into the game in a little bit, and you can talk about it in detail when we're
so this is hard difficulty. So inside that, you're going to have a smaller amount of money to begin with. We're making it so that dinosaur difficulty can be a lot harder. We make it so that you have more calamity, more Hammond Foundation fees. So these are mechanics. These are levers for us to make it harder for you. So your aim is still to build 5 stars as fast as possible. We've kind of seen it in the office as like a time trial. So we've created some par times. We call them par times, like with a golfing analogy. So we've come up with some times for each difficulty that you're trying to aim to beat, and the game will then track your personal best. And some of the difficulty levels have unlocks. So if you're 5-star Jurassic, which is the hardest difficulty, you'll get a new skin for your Indominus Rex. And it's just been a great new way for us to play the game. And for me, I love challenge modes. They're definitely the kind of mechanic that I really enjoy playing. So you'll get given contracts to complete, and then we're going to add a lot more things to make it a bit harder.
Excellent stuff. So we've got the game up and running. So let's just go through. And I think you've got a couple of things to talk through. What the goal is. Those kinds of things. Oh wait, 1 second. Bear with me 1 moment. Just while we get the. Okay, there you go. Yeah, we're in game.
So in challenge mode, you start out with Isla Nublar, which is the sandbox level, and you get given 3 contracts. So we've made a slight change to the contract system in challenge mode. So you won't get a choice about which contract you get. It will be foisted upon you, but there'll be penalties for declining, for cancelling a contract. And there's also a new mechanic we're calling Hammond Foundation fees. Sorry, I forgot to build last time.
While you're talking, I can do that if you wish.
You want to do that?
Yeah.
So there's changes to the contract. So diseases will be
concentrating on the speaking, and
I'll concentrate on the speaking. And so the cancellation fees. So these 3 contracts that you have on screen, you can't decline these when they're given to you, but you can cancel them at any point. And if you do that, you'll get a big penalty. You need to be completing these contracts because over time, your reputation with each division will decline. So if you're not constantly keeping your contracts being completed, your reputation might drop, and that will increase the amount of sabotage, which on some of the later difficulties can be really challenging. You might have seen it in the notification, we've added a new mechanic called a Hammond Foundation fee. So in the main game, at some points you might have noticed that you had a lot of money, so which meant that when you had a calamity, it was really easy to deal with. In challenge mode, as you unlock 1, 2, 3 stars, these foundation fees get higher and higher, which means the amount of money you have as your disposable income to deal with things is going to get less and less. So think of it like rent or something like that. It's just going to get harder and harder. And so we've added new things like, so there's some new achievements for this mode. We've added some lighting presets to it as well, so you can change the lighting in here. And we've made some other tweaks as well.
Should I show that now, or are we going to have a look at that later on?
Let's talk about that when we talk about some sandbox changes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
So you can say it's a brand new slate. You start again. When you start it, you get everything available to you as you had on the first island. So at this level, at no stars, you'll have everything unlocked as you would have done on, say, starting Math and Seros from the beginning. When you reach 1 star, you get everything as though you've got the second island unlocked. So we've kind of condensed all of the progression and the metrics from progressing through all the 5 deaths of the main game into a single island, but converted that to star ratings.
Okay, so I'm just playing that.
That's fine. So as you can see in this map, there's a timer at the top that shows how fast you're going.
I see it, yeah.
And then we've got par times on some of the menus that tell you how fast you should be trying to complete this difficulty in. And then we'll say we keep track of your personal best, so that the next time, if you complete medium in 3 hours or something, you can try and do it a bit faster.
Okay. Great. So, so overall, my sort of main goal, as it were, is to just essentially get the 5-star on the island as fast as I can.
As fast as you can.
And can we talk through a little bit about the difficulties as well again, so the difficulty levels?
So we have 4 difficulty levels. There's easy, medium, hard and Jurassic. Jurassic is really punishing and has been one that's causing a lot of fun in the office as we try our best to complete it at all, never mind try and do it in 5 stars as fast as we can.
That's not a way to put that down. I'm doing it quickly.
It's fine. Medium and hard are my kind of walk in the park. They're a lot more my pace. But as it's been great to just use these as competitions in the office, and we think it's a great thing for the community to be using to drive community and competition as well, because all of you trying to beat these difficulty modes as fast as you can and sharing what your personal bests are.
Excellent stuff. Okay, I mean we will move on as soon as we're ready to, because I think the challenge mode, the largest part of it comes in the engaging with it themselves. People.
We think it's a lot of hours of gameplay, and we're putting hours of it into the office as we compete. We have an inter-office competition about who can do it and whether they're doing it without cheating or not. And Jesus, so it's been a great thing. So do you want to talk about some of the lighting settings?
Yeah, sure. Would you want me to do that now?
Yeah. So in challenge mode, we can change the lighting settings, which is in gameplay. So we can change the lighting setting in challenge mode to be dusk, night. Let's change to, as you would do and as you would expect in sandbox mode, which I'm going to move into sandbox mode and show you some of the sandbox settings we've made. That's my link. That was my link. My tenuous link.
No, it was not tenuous. It was very good. I liked it a lot.
Platinum
That's
guys.
just why I walk around.
Hey guys, I'm Ed
Lewis.
Lewis. Community
Exciting
manager
for experienced players.
Platinum of Jurassic World Evolution.
Yeah,
and
as Auditore 92 says, challenge mode looks exciting for experienced players, which is great.
But if it's just a different way of playing. If you're want a different from the progression or the narrative of the game, it's sort of building Jurassic World Evolution parks in a new way. And we're trying to improve a lot of the other mechanics in the game as well to go alongside that. So I'm in my sandbox, Ed, which is the same island, which is Isla Nublar.
It's a strange one.
I got.
Whoever built this one is okay. It's a nice little lake area.
Yeah, it's nice
for your dinos.
It's very wet.
Sure.
And we talked about some of the lighting settings, and even though this is sandbox, what we've added is the lighting settings that you get in sandbox and challenge mode. So, if you go settings, gameplay, and you can change the island lighting. We've actually added these as unlocks for the campaign levels as well. So if you 5-star the islands in campaign mode, you can now change the lighting in those levels. So you could have Matt and Seros at night.
Or any of them.
Any of them. You can change them to be
nighttime one to daytime. Penna.
Yeah, you can have that in the day. So we've added the lighting settings that
very cool
across all the islands to allow you to kind of see them in a new way. So I've changed this one to dusk.
Which is so it's the islands that you've seen and spent a lot of time in. You can change it.
And it really makes how different they feel when you can change the lighting. Like when I put Matt and Zeros into night, which is the first level, but it's one I've played a fair number of times. It's amazing how different it feels. And as well as adding lighting settings to the campaign levels, we've added a lot of sandbox settings that a lot of the community have been asking for. So a lot of you want sandbox in a certain way, want different ways, so we're adding some more toggles to the game. So we call them toggles.
Talk us through the toggles.
My toggles. So, I'm trying to remember which ones are new ones, which ones we already had. So, dinosaur lifespan. We can now make it normal, we can make it limited. They can live forever.
Dinosaurs live forever in my heart always, but
not only did we give you a toggle to make them unlimited, across the game, dinosaurs will now live longer by default.
That's good.
That was again some good feedback we had from the community that we found that dinosaurs were, even with the genetic engineering, were dying a bit too fast. We used this. We had a word with Dr. Wu.
Oh, thank you for talking to him. He's difficult to reach.
I got on the blower. I went, Henry.
Oh, that's all you have to do is just call him.
Yeah, Henry, me old mucker.
Henry, me old mucker. If you aren't from Yorkshire in England, you might not understand that reference.
You're right.
So carry on. You increase across the game, regardless, even in the main game.
They're just by default just longer.
Challenge mode, they're now lasting a bit longer.
They're lasting a bit longer.
We did receive that feedback. Quite a lot of people wanted them to last longer. Yep. But now, if you want to make your perfect park, you are able to do that without having to worry about these things.
Yeah, so in sandbox mode,
is super exciting.
They're immortal. It's like you could essentially do the Highlander with dinosaurs now. Okay.
Again, another reference. I mean, look, people. Sure.
We're full of really old references. Kids asking parents.
Moving on, Rich Newell. All right, next one.
Contracts. So when we first went in sandbox mode, we didn't want any contracts. But we had some good feedback that you wanted to play sandbox, but with some contracts on. So you can now turn them on.
Lovely.
So you'll now get contracts from the division heads to help guide your sandbox. Cash. Unlimited cash. Some people validly didn't want unlimited cash. They wanted to have zero cash, or low, or medium, or high amounts of cash.
Okay.
Okay. I know that this is as content goes. Me going down menus, going left and right is going to be awful.
People in the chat, we can read what you're saying, and we really appreciate all of your feedback. I think so far I've seemed very pleased, especially with the dinosaur sizes. Challenge mode, people seem interested about it as well. But also, all of these options, these are the things that people have been asking for quite some time. And remember that it's coming in a free update. So this is the first free update as well. So it's 1.4 coming on September the 13th. And it's entirely free for, if you already own it, you're going to get all of this for free. It's just going to update into your game, nice and easy. Thank you guys, says Dean. Exactly. Put some nice thank yous in for the devs, because they do work hard at this.
So we've added the difficulty settings that we're using in challenge mode, which we kind of use to make it harder for you in challenge mode, whether it's making it harder for money or increasing your guest count, dinosaur ratings. We've moved those into sandbox, some of those into sandbox mode for you as well. Feeders. We had some feedback that you found the feeders a bit of a chore towards some of the bigger parks. So now in sandbox mode, you can make them infinite feeders. And this is my favourite named setting. It's not just. It's not unlimited. It's not power. How would you want your power? Unlimited
power.
Which means.
Oh, I like my power.
I like my power. Which means when in your park, so you can see in my park, there's not a single power station.
Very nice.
Because I have unlimited power.
Palpatine does this game, so it's cool, man. Excellent.
I got that reference. With his Star Wars tattoos. We had some really good feedback from the community about how to make sandbox mode better, and we put in, when we released the game, some of the options that we thought were suitable for sandbox mode, and we had some great feedback saying, can we have some more? So we've done our best to give you as much as we can. What was I going to talk about? I got distracted.
It's okay, you carry on. You got distracted by unlimited power, that's fine.
So sandbox mode is a good way for us to demo some of these and talk about them. So we've made some changes to some of the contract types in the game as well. So we've added 6 new contract types that you might see in your game, whether it's we've kind of have it so that your dinosaur, you might get contracts so that you will have to force a fight between 2 dinosaurs and have one of the dinosaurs beat the other dinosaur. What this means in slightly layman terms is you might get a contract to genetically to create a Triceratops that can beat a T-Rex in a fight, or some of the other combinations. But you're going to have to use your genetic engineering to kind of make that happen. So you might need to engineer a Triceratops that's got a higher attack than a T-Rex, and vice versa. So there's going to be some new contract types for you to play with. That's one. We've added some guest shelter coverage and some dinosaur visibility contracts. We've also added some dinosaur rating contracts and profit income and overall attraction profit income contracts as well. So that means there's going to be hopefully some more variation in the contracts that the division heads will be giving you. We've also made a change to scale all the cash rewards that you get for those contracts. So if you get a contract to incubate a Indominus Rex, which is a fairly expensive dinosaur, the cash reward you get for that contract is more proportional and more appropriate. So no longer will that contract kind of feel like a bit like a chore. And we've done that to the building ones as well.
Some stuff. Sorry, I'm just building one.
You just built, well, that's fine. I'm talking. You're building.
Carry on.
And one of the things that we had some good community feedback has been languages.
This is one that deserves almost a nice full screen of your face to tell them all
My
about it.
face. So we are adding 2 new languages in the update for 1.4. So Korean and Italian. No, I already know that. I'm checking. Will be added as language options in the update as well. So you'll have text and VO for both of those languages. So we had some great feedback from the Italian players and our Korean players saying, "Can we have these languages in game?" And
yeah, so we thought, there were enough people asking, and we were like, that seems like the right thing to do. So there you go. So there's again lots of things to do, and we will try and summarise this in just a minute. We'll going back through, look at all things, not in detail, but kind of. I'm going to test you, Rich, see if you can remember it all without your notes.
Okay.
I'm sure you'll do your best.
Do fine.
But are there a couple more things that you want to?
I have more improvements and fixes to the game that I want to talk about. If that's
Great.
okay.
That's absolutely fine. I'll carry on playing.
That's a lovely viewing gallery you've got, Ed.
It'd
be really useful?
Yeah.
It'd be really nice. If you could click on the viewing gallery and see what they see from the viewing gallery.
Yeah, a bit like this. I can spend some time now seeing what people can see from the viewing gallery.
So, we've now added the option for you to be able to see the view from viewing galleries and viewing platforms and hotels as well. We've also made another change to the hotel. Hotels now have visibility cones. So you can now use, the hotels will now contribute to your dinosaur rating. So there's a visibility on them, and some folks on the balconies just chilling out. Because we had some great feedback that it was slightly strange that the hotels had no visibility because they have these massive windows and a rooftop. So we added that as some great feedback. And there's also
the monorails also have a viewing. We don't have an example of that right now.
We don't have an example. So we've added some options to the monorail and the gyrosphere as well. So there's now a first-person camera on the monorail train. So similar to the viewing galleries and the viewing platforms, you're going to be able to go first-person from the monorail train and see as that goes around from the view of the monorail.
Fantastic.
Ride cameras for gyrospheres as well. So you're going to be able to have a camera follow those ones as well. And I think that's the sound of Rich referring to his notes.
That's okay.
We've also made some improvements to photo mode, which makes it a lot easier for you to take dinosaur photos when they're far away. If a dinosaur's too close as well, try and make that. That was a bit of an issue where if you got too close, sometimes the photo mode photos, the photo wouldn't register, so we've made improvements to that as well. And my other dinosaur change that I forgot to mention earlier was we've added some new fights behaviours to them as well. So as they're fighting, they might do territorial fights. So if you're at a max social rating, so say you have 3 Ceratosauruses together.
You're doing a great job.
It's the nerves.
Don't be nervous.
The 3 of them, they might have a fight for like territory. So there won't be a full-fledged fight. It's a bit more of a posturing fights, but so we're trying to make it more behaviours into the dinosaurs themselves and the way they hunt and the way they behave together as well.
Fantastic.
I have some more.
There are lots of more things to say. You do have lots of more things to say. Take your time.
We've added some options to cancel, which is a weird way to describe it. So you can cancel research, you can cancel incubation now. So if, like me, you accidentally incubate a dinosaur and go, actually, I don't want to do that one. I made a mistake. I have the receipt. It's within my 30 days.
Okay.
You can now cancel it. That's it. You can now do the same for research as well.
Great. It's worth mentioning as well that if anything does show up on screen that isn't that Rich and I aren't are surprised to see, this isn't development build, as this is in the top right corner as well. So hot off the press. It isn't the build. It isn't the exact same build. Oh, I also don't think we mentioned that the dinosaur sizes in this build that we're playing here have not been implemented yet as well. So we will show off the screen sizes, the screenshots again, the dino sizes to demonstrate for those that have just turned up in just a moment. But this build doesn't have the dinosaur sizes in it, in case you've spotted it and gone, hold on, that looks the same. But I don't think there are actually any in here yet. Maybe there's a Ceratosaurus there, yeah. But that's the old style Ceratosaurus.
And we also did some changes to the gene splicer and the genetic engineering so that you can reset now. So if you've made lots of modifications to a genome and you want to go back to the vanilla T-Rex is now an option that will allow you to do that, which is, for me, I find quite useful if I just want to
reset it all back to zero, then tweak around with it.
Yeah, if you're trying to create a dinosaur that you need to use in a fight or you need to use as food for sacrificial, Struthiomimus, as it were. That's the technical term. We've also, there's a change that you might have seen in the expedition map earlier. We've added the genome percentage to the expedition map. So now when you're choosing your dig sites, you can actually see how much genome you had, which makes it a bit easier for you to pick your expedition map.
We're in sandbox mode, so I can't show that off right now, but
of course.
I'm sure people can believe you.
And we've added some keyboard shortcut options as well. So for those people that like to use keyboards on their PC to quickly access all the menus, we've added that to the F key. So now this F1 to F6 will open each one of the management tabs, and 1 to 6 on the numerical keyboard will open the subpages.
Excellent, thank you.
That's just thanks.
Thanks for that.
Yeah. You're welcome. This is just a small amount of the things we've done. Like we've done a lot of changes to the game to try and improve a lot of things as much as we can. I nearly forgot one that my friend Matthew Florians would have been very sad if I forgot to mention. The Spinosaurus Roar. She will now do the Jurassic Park 3 Roar.
Okay. Excellent.
Which has been some great feedback from the community, and Matt, loves audio.
People are happy about that. Look how pleased people are about that.
So she will now play the Jurassic Park 3 Roar. They've done a lot of work on the roars. I think that he said today there's 4 different roars, and the one that he plays out of the hatcheries, there's the Jurassic Park 3 one.
Yeah, that's got the most excitement of all the of the live streams so far.
Even my Yorkshire rendition of ringing Dr. Henry Wood.
Even that, which is great stuff.
So these are just some of the fixes we've done.
Great. Well, I think that's brilliant. Do you want? Is there any more that you want to talk about today? Like you say, lots of stuff that's kind of perhaps behind the scenes changes, improvements to performance, or those kinds of things.
So with various text and stability fixes have been made. Nothing I can really think of to call out, but we're trying to do changes across the board, across the audio, the gameplay, the design, the feel of the dinosaurs and they behave. The challenge mode has been such a big thing for us to add, and we've had so much fun playing it and making tweaks to it and balancing it that we've put a lot of care and attention into making sure that really adds a lot of longevity to the game and replayability as well. I've played medium on challenge mode a number of times now, whilst I might have only played through the main game a couple of times. But with the medium challenge mode, with the fact that you're going to get different contracts every time, and it will drive the way you're building it in different ways. And so there's some new unlocks and some achievements for you as well. We're just finding it so exciting to play.
Excellent. Yeah, and like you say, I can see here as well some of the menus that you'll see as well at the front of the game. An entirely new you'll be greeted with it as soon as you load up the game. So, do you want to do challenge mode or do you want to do campaign?
Yeah, it's an option. You'll get it unlocked straight from the get-go. So new players, if they start the game up on the 13th September for the first time, they'll have challenge mode. There's no need for you to have played the main game, so it might make Jurassic a bit easier if you have played the main game, so you know what's coming, whether it's tropical storm or more dinosaurs escaping. But yes, it's definitely a lot of fun, and we're really excited.
Great, yeah, absolutely. And I think there's, again, I want to talk through so in case you just arrived, we've of course adjusted some of the dinosaur sizes as well, which was something that the community had asked for.
Yeah, it's been a big challenge for us to do this, and a lot of work. And say the dinosaurs are such a key thing, and they affect so many different things in the game that we want to make sure that the work we're doing has had a bit of a knock on there.
As you can see, some of the differences as well. A lot of the things that people sort of called out and pointed out as well were the sort of when in fighting, you can clearly tell that the sizes weren't quite right. So we've made these handy little scales here to show of how they've been adjusted to sort of fit a little bit better with people's expectations of that. But yeah, thank you so much for coming along. And remember, guys, this is an entirely free update. So this is